make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me, I swear. You would do anything that I want, so keep us awake till the dawn. Ooh, baby, feel free. I wanna make you sweat on me. I wanna make you sweat on me. I got you wrapped around my finger.
Every single
Hi.
time I try to fly, I fall without my wings. I feel so small. I guess I need you, baby. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, everyone. Welcome to your favorite
Your
ants.
favorite ants. We are your
The
favorite
only,
ants.
yeah, you know why? Because after a long day, your aunt has
Long
had a
week.
whole joint to herself. Long week, had a whole day to herself. Had to cancel the last meeting because you fucking locked your keys in your car, and you double booked yourself. And then you get to the last thing of your day, which is arguably the most pleasurable thing, and you crack open a Miller Lite. And you
Stop
know
it.
what? It's Miller time, baby. It
I
is
love
Miller
it.
time. I want to say shout out to my cute little romance friend that we're exploring things together, because he brought over a 6-pack. He's like, should I leave some here? I'm just like, why? So you can come over and drink them. And he's like, yeah.
Gosh, I feel like,
Ugh.
well, first of all, introduce yourself. I'll introduce myself. We'll
Oh
get this
my
thing
God.
going.
I am author of the new book, This Here Flesh, Cole Arthur Riley. Go pick it up wherever books are sold. Cole, I love your book. It's so fucking good. So that's who I
And
am.
I'm Kadan, or I want to say her name right. It's Kadanji, right? I want to say it right. Brown Jackson, the newest Supreme Court candidate, the first Black woman to be appointed, and the voting is happening. Her name is, she grew up. I want to make sure I say her name correctly. I just listened to her pronounce it over and over again. Her parents are not directly from Africa, but her family is. And so when she was born, her family wanted to honor her background. And so she is incredible. I've just been reading up on her, and she's like young and vibrant. She's like 51, which is young for Supreme Court years.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just an incredible candidate. So we hope she goes through, because we need some good news, don't we?
Yeah, we do need some good news. Hey, if you've got good news right now, share it in the chat, even if it's something small victory you had today, because I think I need that. So I'm willing to share good news if you're willing to share some good news, Sarah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Okay, so how the hell are you doing? Honesty is important.
Okay. Right now, I'm very glad to just be here where I can just blow off some steam and just chill and relax, because I've had a lot of tension in my body because of all the very visible anti-trans bills happening in education across the country that are like it's like a ginormous fucking wave. And as I was thinking about it, it just tapped into my younger self, who I was just like, wow. It wasn't that like I re-traumatized myself. It's just that like I had such a upwelling of deep sorrow and empathy for all of my sweet little queer babies. Oh, there it is again.
It's okay. I know, baby. You've been there.
It just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And the feeling that I have is it's the feeling of powerlessness of
Don't let them take your power.
I know. That's the lie. That's the lie. and it's and when I say that, it's just like it's the younger part of me who like remembers what it was like to not have a choice and not have that. And there's like children are so vulnerable, and I cannot believe it's in 2022. I mean, I guess I can. Like, it's only gotten. I mean, like, it's gotten worse. It's not gotten better. It's gotten worse.
I mean, I think that's what we're led to believe. But
Ugh.
I also find hope in children and young adults, because I remember when our denomination, my conference, was talking about these things. And I looked over, and some of the young adults that I brought with me to our annual conference, which is just a boring gathering of people, it's not that. It's kind of how we do the work of the church. And they're like looking, and this girl looks at me and goes, "Why are they still talking about this?" And I think
Yes.
that's the truth of it. And yes, we'll talk about it in a minute, but all of this voting and all of that, yeah, it has meaning. However, when I hear what young people are saying about it, I'm like, oh, there's some hope. We need to get out your way,
Oh
because
my God. Like,
y'all,
literally, like,
they got it.
as soon as their voting age.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know if you listened to oh gosh, his name, I'm blanking on it. And I don't want to do this. Jen Hatmaker's guy. And that's wrong that I can't remember his name, but I remember
Jen Hatmaker's boyfriend, his name is Trey.
Trey.
Trey's a
Yes. His thing about these are our babies. And he said, I just want to thank you, because you doing this has made apparently a bunch of 18-year-olds. The number one thing searched was how quickly people could register to vote. Like, the young people are like, okay, we care about voting now because we want this man out. We want this man out. We do not respect you, sir, nor do we respect your opinions. So if you don't know what we're talking about, the thing that is being held in my beloved friend's body is that Greg Abbott. Am I saying his name right?
Don't care.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Anyway, he is the governor of Texas and has decided, which, by the way, the good news is like all of the judges in Texas are like, that's not even legal. Has decided that the ability to begin any sort of treatment for children who are wanting to do gender. I want to make sure I say it right. Gender
confirmation.
Thank you. Gender confirmation. I want to use the right word, because
Yeah.
it used to be called gender reassignment, and I don't think that's
gender
not what this is
affirming
about.
treatments or operations.
Yeah, we want to make sure we use the right language around this stuff. And so he was going to actually consider it child abuse, and had tried to use current law to say such. And then judges came up and said, yeah, you can't. It's pageantry, but it's really ridiculous pageantry because, and we'll talk about it later, there's a bunch of other laws right now happening. The problem with pageantry like this is that it actually affects the bodies of people who this is about. And it isn't about these assholes who are having this conversation in vague theories up on high in some sort of marble room with, like, nice smelling mahogany furniture and books.
Mahogany.
It's,
Rich
and I think
mahogany.
rich mahogany. And so I think I'm really just grateful that there are people, like our newest appointee, who have difference of opinion. So that's what we'll say about that. So other than that, how are you doing? You look great.
Thanks. Today I tried.
You've got a person who's leaving Miller Lite at your home, which is the champagne of beer, isn't it? That Miller Lite? Is that Miller Lite?
No, that's Budweiser, baby. That's
bummer.
Budweiser. The champagne. This is the beer of beer.
This is the beer. It's just beer.
It really is like beer. To me, it's beer of beers. It's like the most quintessential like beer taste. It's like it's not great. It's not bad either. It's like it's just.
I dated a boy in college whose last name was Miller, and so we drank Miller all the time.
Oh, Miller time.
We called him Miller the Killer because he was quite a stud muffin.
Wow, I would love to date a killer. Dexter.
You're such a psycho. Well, I'm glad to hear that you are being honest about your feelings.
So yeah, I would say other than that, I'm doing quite well. I only 9 spots from other than the world falling apart in my personal life. I'm having some really lovely times. I only have 9 spots left in my cohort.
Stop.
Dead ass. And so and I have like 12, 15 calls lined up in this coming week. very, very excited about all of that. So if you're out there and you're like, I'm ready to like get my spiritual shit together and I want to do it in community with people, go to thekevingarcia.com/cohort, learn about it. My favorite thing, the thing that people have said the most, because like when I get people on calls, what I do is I'm like, okay, let's figure out if what you want and what I do is the same thing. And then I talk about the thing. And then I said, does that make sense? And they're just like, yes. You basically explained it all on the website ahead of time too. I'm just like, I'm glad that there's no ambiguity. There's no difference between the two. So if you really want to know what's going on, please go look at the website. There's a lot of good stuff. If that sounds interesting to you, book a call with me. And yeah, other than that, I'm fine. How are you, Sarah Louisa Jane Heath? What's good?
Yeah. So if you follow me on any social media, you'll know that this month has been a very difficult month. And I actually shared, the only public space I was sharing about it was right here, was that I was going through testing for breast cancer for the last month. And although there is one test left to do, most of my tests have come back really positive. And so there's been a lightness. I didn't know that I was holding all of it in my body because I am an Enneagram 3. So conceal, don't feel, keep going, keep going. On Wednesday, was it Wednesday? I had a presentation, I had a sermon to record, and in the middle of it, I got a call from the doctor and good news was given to me. And so I didn't realize until like the evening I was running with friends, and we went and listen to this. We went and got hot toddies for my tatas. It was so fun. And I think just the lightness that I've been able to have. And then unfortunately, this has been a really terrible week for so many reasons in the world. And I am glad that I can give my full attention to that when my own stuff is beginning to lighten up a bit. So I'm also traveling to North Carolina to speak at a really cool community called Church on Morgan, which is just a super, they're just doing super cool things. Like their whole thing is like, we are no longer about evangelism. We're about finding beauty. So whatever that looks like, that's their vision statement is like, we're here to find beauty. Like, and they're just working a year through it. Their lead pastor is a dear friend of mine, Justin Morgan. I get to see some of my like favorite people from grad school. I get to run through the garden where I used to run when I was in grad school. So I'm excited to, in a weird way, have a homecoming in the midst of all of this and see some of my dear, dear friends and travel because it's a scary time. And so you want to be close to the people that you care about. So that is my update. I'm doing great. I'm doing great in a weird way.
It's okay. It's fine. It's good. We made it through the wilderness.
So let's start.
What are we going to start?
So we're going to talk about pop culture and headline news. Oh, but at first we should check in. Look at all the things that are happening for people. They're taking really good care of themselves.
That's a beautiful thing.
I love, we are doing yoga. Sierra said, I took care of myself with some yoga and plant medicine. You know what that is.
Girl, do I.
Do you like that I still giggle like, Megan took a shower and made
let me ask you, do you like that you still giggle like that?
I mean, I think it's funny. I don't know the drugs, but I hear they're great.
I tell you, you would like your anxiety would decrease significantly with just 5 milligrams would do you wonders.
I mean, I feel like going into all those tests, that would have been great.
And
so it's good to hear that you guys are doing well because we're about to get into it. Pop culture and headline news, our next section that we like to call
headline.
Did you hear?
I like calling it headline news because I feel I need to figure out how to get like a soundboard on here so we can
so you can hit a thing.
Yeah, so I think there's a way that I can do it on here. Let me see, because it says add background music.
I just love that you guys get to go behind the curtains. This is like our least produced show that either of us do, and we love it.
Wow.
This is how I know you've had an entire J, that this is the headline news vibe.
Welcome to headline news. I'm Anderson Cooper.
Whoa.
Today's top stories.
Let's talk about the Dove Awards because that's a light one. It's a funny one.
Like, here's what I cannot even begin to contemplate this. So the Dove Awards is putting out an award for the Unity Award. They're calling it a Unity Award, and they're giving it to Donald J. Trump. And I am just sitting here. This is a music award show. This is supposed to be a music award show, and they just they pretty much just like shaking each other's hand and giving Stephen Curtis Chapman like 5 awards a year. But it's like now they're really going to say like this industry thinks that this man is a beacon of Christian unity.
Yeah.
I am barely a Christian, and I am offended on behalf of all Christians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got me fucked up, brother.
I've got to tell you, here's my Dove Awards experience. I didn't really know what it was. I won't say who it is, but for a little while I was seeing a human who had won a Dove Award, and I went to visit them in Franklin, Tennessee.
You can name names in this space.
No.
Name, Sarah. No. Start the drama.
No, but I will say this. I went into his home in Franklin, Tennessee. The reason I'm not telling you this is he like actually was kind of a person who like literally had another girlfriend and then had me come and hang out with him and stay with him.
There's literally, that's every reason to out his shit, man. If he's a shit.
He's not anymore. He has gone and gotten help, and he is a much better person. But he had won a Dove Award, which was strategically placed on his fireplace in his home in Franklin, Tennessee. And I really hurt his feelings because, not really hurt his feelings, but I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, it's a Dove Award. I was like, what is a Dove Award? I didn't know what it was. And that's when I learned that Christianity has its own Grammys. I did not know that.
Yeah. Their own Grammys for their subpar music.
I did not.
It's like best worship song by a group, best worship song by a lady, best worship song by a man, best worship song that talks about Jesus.
Well, he had won it for, I guess, best worship song of the year or whatever. Best part was like, I did not know he had a girlfriend. I was speaking at events. I was in town. He was recording his album. So like I got to go to the Kitchen, which is a really cool recording studio in Nashville. Great times. And then he was like, hey, by the way, my girlfriend's coming over. And I was like, oh, well, then we should probably have a different way that we are in each other's lives. But the best part is
he didn't mention the whole time.
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. That's another reason you should out his shit to the world.
The best part was I drove out of Nashville listening to Ryan Adams as the sun was coming up. And I was like, I can't. And I did not after that. And I remember years later running into him and him being like, why did we never actually date? And I was like, because you had a girlfriend.
You stupid fuck. Mm-hmm. Call him up and call him a stupid fuck. That's what he deserves.
You know what? He's had some times. He is no longer in the Christian music industry. He transitioned into other things. He has had a really tough time and is now doing really great. So I am not going to out him. It is what it is. I know you're so protective of me, and I kind of love it. I love when your 8 comes out. So all that to say,
yeah. Are you saying that you love my propensity for violence? It's fucked up. I'm trying to repent.
You can give him a Unity Award. You have unified nothing. Like
the
audacity of a dove, which is the symbol of peace award, being given to a man who literally said Vladimir Putin is a leader that we should all like. He's a good leader.
Like, can you fucking imagine what would be happening right now if actually, you know what? I'm not going down that scary rabbit hole. I'm going to stay in the real world. And I'm also going to order myself a pizza right now. So by the time we're done with this, I can eat that pizza.
He should get a Disunity Award. Oh, it's so true. Yeah, it was Not a good look for him to start. Also, here's the other thing. No one else is asking former presidents what they think about this whole situation, but Fox
No!
News really wants to know what the former president thinks.
It's I know, like, I understand how it's happening. I that's the thing. It's not for it was like, I don't get it. I'm just like, no, the problem is we do get it. And that
Mm,
is why we are frustrated. And so what I have to do, this is probably like the one time in my week that I complain
yeah.
about the world. And this is why I'm so grateful, because I get to be a total bitch in here.
Yeah,
Like, this
you are
feels
a
so
bitch.
good. It's like 5 days a week I could, I'm, Shakti, like, let's get free of our, of our fear and whatnot. But right now, this is where this is how I know that I'm not a enlightened person. I'm not a bodhisattva. I'm I'm just a girl out here who meditates and needs to complain about things
And
sometimes. You know
needs
what
to
I'm saying?
meditate right after this, probably.
Oh, or something. I need to eat probably.
That's
Ooh.
probably it. That's like literally my mom, Chris Heath. That's her response whenever I'm feeling a little angry. She'll say, "Have you eaten today?" And I'm
I'm just
like,
like, it's none of your damn
That's
business.
fine." The other thing, and the reason that we are calling this episode Don't Say Straight, the other
Don't say it straight.
beautiful thing that's happening in the world is in Florida. They've proposed a bill that's actually gaining traction that
It's
won't
so
let you
fucking
use the
wild to
word
me.
gay. Here's the thing. These are the same idiots who hate the idea of cancel culture. Right?
Yeah. It's like, but like, this is it's literally giving Gestapo bullshit. It's literally giving, you can only talk about state approved topics.
Yeah, this is
And
real
that
weird.
is, I'm like,
This is giving us communist vibes, guys.
listen, like, don't put this on the communists. It's giving Nazi vibes. It's giving
Yeah.
fascist vibes.
Oh,
There's a
it's giving
difference
us
between,
fascist. There, guys,
yeah.
communism and fascism, two different things. I think that's important for everyone to know.
Yes, because as socialists, we often,
We tip
work
towards
in the same group.
communism.
Yeah. But either way,
Yeah, you
I
cannot
can't I
say
can't like it's I think I'm hoping, but of course, like, the judges in Florida are not helpful, but I do think that it will get challenged in court all the way up if it has to.
oh, it will. And
Because I'm
here's the
just
deal.
like,
We got a girl going in who is 51 years old. So she's
Lord,
got
praise.
time.
Oh, Jeebus Crass. I
So we
gotta
need
tell
to
you.
protect her with prayer, with gratefulness,
Oh,
light a candle.
listen, listen, listen. So yeah, that's just I already spilt all my guts on the internet this week. It's bullshit. It's stupid, and it is wild to me. I'm like, there's just a very simple rule that I try to live by, is that if I don't know somebody personally, I don't have an opinion about them.
Mm,
I don't have a policy about people that I don't know.
right. I
And
do
so
have an opinion about
therefore,
Greg Abbott.
oh yeah, but this is, let me put it this way. I don't have a policy about someone I don't have a personal connection to,
That makes
right?
sense.
And so if you don't know trans people, like, this is the thing. Trans people exist. You can talk to them. You can ask them to come, talk about their experiences, and say, "Hey, these are our concerns about bathrooms." Oh, that's interesting, because when I go into a bathroom, I just want to take a piss.
Right.
You know, like, to
I
them,
had
trans people are just this figment of their nightmare. Like, they're just some sort of boogeyman that doesn't quite exist, that's trying to convert their children. But guess what? No one's trying to convert your children. We want your children to become adults.
and to do like to live. So what you just said is important. We want
Yes.
them to become adults because the likelihood of trans kids making it, guys, it's staggering. And
Yeah.
here's the
The
absolute
average age for a trans woman of color, do you know the average age for a trans woman
no,
of
I
color?
don't.
Her average, she lives to about 35 on average.
That just literally gave me
And that and
goosebumps.
that's the high end. I have a trans friend, she's 42. I have another trans friend. She's 65. But she also didn't transition 33. Thank you, Megan.
The average age is 33. Well,
Because
that feels biblical.
Wow.
We kill that which we cannot understand. If that's anything we get from the Jesus story, it's that we cannot handle. And I don't get like worked up. I get worked up about other people and the injustices. And I have to say, this is hitting me really hard. This idea of you're coming for our babies. If you have never known, and I mean, not just like known, but like known a trans person, not in theory, not in whatever, but like it is
my
biggest.
best friend is a trans man.
Right. Yeah.
My best friend is a trans man. Like most of my friends are trans, queer folk, and non-binary folks, and then like I'm over here like
your best friend that you're talking about is to me the epitome of what happiness and joy looks like when you're living into who you think you are. Not who you think you are, who you are. Who you are. I don't even want I cannot. We have to be so clear with language right now, friends, because otherwise it's taken to be like, oh, so they decided. They didn't decide. I didn't decide I was a woman.
You know what I decided? I decided that I wanted to just wear whatever the fuck I wanted to wear and love who I wanted to love. That's what I decided. Yeah, and people have a problem with that.
But Kevin, it took so long for you to get there, and we almost lost you. And that's the bullshit that makes me so angry, because I think about the people, and not to get emotional, I think about the people that wouldn't be walking into their own freedom if you hadn't made it. If you hadn't lived, and I don't mean make it because of your numbers, I meant lived. If you hadn't lived through the bullshit of how you felt about yourself because of a narrative that said you're not enough and you're not God's creation. And yes, thank God you've come out the other side saying, really? Well, I've got some thoughts on that. But there was a time when that was not. The voice that you heard was, you are not, quote unquote, manly enough to keep going in this world. And I just, the shame that you walked around, my niece and nephew are like my favorite things in the world. I cannot imagine if either of them thought that what they are is not enough. So don't give me this bullshit. It's not child abuse. It's child acknowledgement. It's believing that kids actually know who they are. Now, do we think you should be pumping kids full of estrogen or no? And here's the news. They don't do that. You know why? Because you wouldn't do it because if a kid has not gone through, in order for a kid to make the statement that you think they're able to make, they don't transition children. Guess why? Because they haven't gone through puberty. Like read about what
like transition as a child, like because like a young child who maybe is transitioning, like that's just as easy as a haircut and some change of clothes for a lot of them. And then once they hit puberty, it's a conversation with your doctor around possibility of puberty blockers. But like that, but also just like, I know, like for myself, like I wonder if, cause like I remember from a very young age, like, I remember I have this very clear memory of wanting to get a purse from a toy store. And my mom said, you can't have that because that was for girls. And
do you know how I know this story? Because you and I were in a store and your little eyes, when that light blue with the rainbow purse lit up. And for a minute, I saw baby Kevin. I was like, there you are.
She finally got her purse.
So go ahead, tell it. Because it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just, that was like one of those moments where it's just like, like this, it's not okay for me to like this. It's not okay for me to want this. It's not okay for me to, I'm not okay. Something's wrong with me if I want this.
So someone pointed out, yes, believe kids when they tell you who they are. So I have a dear group of friends who their daughter for a while was saying, I'm not sure if I'm a girl because I like things that my brothers like. And so they said, it's up to you. You can identify however you want. And for a while, and I'm using the term she because after a couple years said, no, I am a girl. I feel like I'm in the right body. But she made choices that would have seemed very masculine, but they let her do it. And let her work her thing out. No pressure, no whatever it was. How would you like us to refer to you? There was zero pressure. Now she came out on the other side saying, hey, actually, I think I am a girl. I just like things that are that I've been told are kind of more boy things. That was it, guys. Healthy, happy little girl. Could have been a healthy, happy little boy because they were taking the lead on defining who they were, right?
Ding dong.
We have so much. And it to me feels like a distraction over what's going on in the world. It feels like we can't.
God, right? It's like we're on the brink of war, allegedly.
Like, no, we are. I mean, it is not allegedly. The Ukraine is being attacked, and we're over here trying to decide, whether or not someone else's identity is okay. When it's like the truth is, it doesn't affect us because each parent should have the opportunity to meet with the pediatrician that they've selected, and for the pediatrician to say, "This is what I'm thinking around this." And here's the deal. The board of pediatricians are saying we affirm gender affirming care. And they have different opinions of it, even folks in Texas. The idea of outlawing the already overworked healthcare workers, you absolute dick. In the midst of them being burnt out.
That's the vibe. You absolute dick.
Like, can you read the gosh darn room? People are exhausted. They're doing their best. They're trying to love our kids into their adult years.
I think you mean read the fucking room.
Read the fucking room. There are a bunch of people who are just trying to they have worked so hard for years. And you're going to just like come in. You have no idea. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
That's the thing. I just wish that like more people would just admit that they don't know what they're doing. Because that's half of our government. Like, that's the thing. Just like, I know that you don't know. Because if you did, we would come to the same conclusion.
Right. The same conclusion. So read it. Just read it. And I know that they have, by the way, Greg Abbott is saying that they have studies. So the studies that he's using is that more genderqueer kids commit suicide. That has nothing to do.
More genderqueer kids commit suicide because they can't actually be themselves in the world and they don't get care. That's why genderqueer kids kill themselves. Yeah, it's because they can't talk about it. Not because they're queer. It's because we live in a world that wants to kill us.
Yes. So
like people want like what's so upsetting for me is just like this is something Alok says a lot is that trans people are not targeted because they are weak or because they are wrong. They are targeted because they are so beautiful and so free. And people don't believe that anyone should have access to that freedom. Like we disappeared because of our beauty.
Well, and there's also this thing that's true is like people act like it's a threat when it's a blessing. Like it's this idea of like, my life is so much better because of my trans friends. Like, So what can we do? Here's what we can do. If you know anyone in Texas, make them register to vote. If you're going to talk about it, hashtag.
If you know anybody if you know anybody, right, get them registered to vote.
Because it matters.
It's the only thing we've got right now in many places.
I can't stand people who are like, your vote doesn't matter. Only white men have ever told me that. Only white progressive men have ever said to me, their voice doesn't matter.
Yeah. And granted, like, I get it. I can understand, like, how it's all, like, fucked up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also, even in a fucked up system, we flipped Georgia.
Well, and
it can be done.
I'm voting for you, not me.
Like I'm voting for me and everybody. Like the thing is just like, you actually are voting for you too.
Oh, me too. But I'm saying like, even if I think my vote, it's like, oh, whatever. I have to remember that I have many friends who can't vote for various reasons. I have friends who have ridiculous criminal things against them and cannot vote, even though they have done their time and changed.
For smoking weed.
Or
I tell you what, like it is like
100%.
Sorry, I thought I heard a very scary sound.
I mean, you did. Yeah. So we have a lot of feelings, obviously, around these things. What you can do also, and I think this is someone, it might have been Jen Hatmaker, I think it was. Someone said like, hey, talk to your kids about accepting their trans friends. By the way, I have a feeling your kids already do. But maybe your kids may not be aware that right now your
Yeah.
trans kids are feeling sensitive.
Yeah. So
And don't
things
make it
you can say is
weird.
like,
Doesn't need to be
yeah,
weird.
just like, hey, do you have any trans friends? No.
And most of them will answer yes.
Yeah. Just like, cool. Are they doing okay?
Check in
I
with
don't know.
them.
It's like, and then if they say I don't know, it's like, well, maybe it could be a good time to check in on them, and just say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just so it's like, and if they don't, it's just like, yeah, well, if you could be like the way I would put it, it's just like if you could just keep my trans friend, blah blah blah, in your prayers because things are really hard, and then that can start a nice little curious conversation, or at least put in their mind, oh, my parent is sensitive towards trans people. I should be sensitive and loving towards trans people.
It's frustrating and it's hard and it's also Miller Lite. The other thing we're going to go into, because we have to, guys, the war in the Ukraine.
Apparently, well, I mean, not even apparently. I know. I keep saying apparently because like my ego is trying to protect me.
No, it's happening. There are people who are afraid, and right now in this very moment are stuck in subway stations, hoping, and they don't. The thing that we do is we try to separate ourselves. Mm-hmm. But you look at these images, and you see people who are so scared and afraid. You see 80-year-old men who are signing up to the military to protect. He had one pair of clean underwear, a couple of pairs of pants, a jumper, and some other things in a suitcase that he packed for himself because, gosh darn it, his grandkids weren't gonna have to be, subjected to what's gonna happen. And on the topic earlier, guys, let me tell you, Russia and the LGBTQIA situation is devastating.
Frightening.
Devastating.
It is Handmaid's Tale level bullshit.
And so what I want to talk about, because I think it's important for us to stand with, is all of the Russians who are protesting and standing in the square and getting arrested, and couples who are Ukrainian and Russian who are kissing in public with flags striped around them and saying, this isn't our war. Russia doesn't want this war. Because I think it's important for all of us to hear, so that if you are inclined to say, oh, Russians, this isn't Russians, friends. This isn't Russians.
This is an oligarch.
And any Russian, there is so much false news there. And if you think we're that far from it, we're not. We're not.
Ooh, we are
the same people who financially back
away.
Putin, financially back Trump. This is not fake news. I'm not making that up. They have done the receipts. They have looked it up. And yet,
now, you know what's so crazy? I saw a clip of this woman who's running for Congress, and she's like, well, I just really respect Putin's, like, he's Eastern Orthodox, and right now, like, I identify more with that because, like, they really believe in, like, protecting, like, their religious identities, and just I really respect that. And also, like, I see eye to eye with him on, like, issues of the LGBTQI, like, fucking it up as per usual. And I'm like, so you're saying you think I should be murdered?
Yes.
For falling in love with someone who looks like me. Fascinating.
So I have a lot of thoughts about it. I also think it's important for us to not be sharing just what we see. Make sure you look up your resources, because one of the things we know right now, friends, is that Russia knows what they're doing. They have great engineers, whether they want to participate or not, that are being used to create false news. And so really make sure that you're only sharing from resources that you trust and that you know, whatever that might be for you. Yeah. Also, if I pause and go get a drink really quick, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I can talk.
Okay, it's gonna be like 2 seconds.
Commercial break. Little commercial
break. We're gonna do a commercial break. Ready?
Hey, everyone.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Commercial Break with me, Kevin G. She didn't mute it. So what I want to share is going on right now. You know, it's Miller time. You're right, Sierra. Okay, here's the tea. I know that's what I want to know. Did Sarah fall down? That's the question everyone wants to know. I can't see her. She's turned her camera off completely. But what I want to tell you is the crowded table. If you haven't heard, I've talked a shit ton about it. But it was living on Patreon. That's like it was the way to support the show. And now you get to, if you'd like, continue that with our new journey over on this new network. It's delightful and cool. We're almost migrated because like we had 180 people on Patreon, and now we've got 53 people over on the new platform. It's very dope. We're planning some watch parties. We've got a retreat both in person and online. And you want to be a part of that, I think. So if you want to check that out, go to thecrowdedtable.mn.co. Also, what was really funny is you turned off your camera but not your mic. So did you fall down?
No.
Because it sounded like you fell down. We were concerned.
Oh, no. So what happened is I actually realized I lied to you. I really had to use the restroom because I was running late and I didn't want to say that because I had to pee so bad. So I was running. You heard me running.
Tell the truth, shame the devil, Sarah Heath.
I know, guys. It's we should talk more about it.
You know
That
what?
women
You're
get embarrassed.
banished. Silenced. Just
I really
kidding.
had to
No,
pee.
I also needed to reset your camera because you were frozen.
Oh, okay. I really
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
pee and then so I ran really fast.
I mean, that was really quick. Like in like speed pissing competition, I think you get gold medal.
Yeah, I didn't actually go get a new drink, guys. I feel like I should be honest, but I am going to pour. My friend came over the other night and I have this little bit of wine left over. So I've had a seltzer and I'm about to have a little bit of wine. Feels like a good day.
Wow.
What did you guys talk about while I was gone?
I just
Did you
plugged the
solve the
crowded
war?
table. Nah, I
Oh.
didn't. I do want to talk about, however, is anybody out there watching Drag Race UK versus the World?
No, I didn't know it was a thing.
Ugh, I need someone to talk about this with me on the air.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I'm going to, what's it called? I'm probably going to go to this cute little gay bear bar that I found.
Oh.
Everyone there is like mid-30s and above. It's very cute.
I like
and
that.
watch the new episode of Drag Race with the gang. And
that sounds like a lot of fun.
yes, God, my attention span.
Honey, here's the thing is like you've had a week. Everyone has.
And I don't need to take this very seriously. It's okay that I'm
It is okay to take it very seriously. It is okay to say, I just needed a place to laugh a little bit and also talk about how this stuff is crappy. And also, yeah, we are almost done.
Loves to laugh.
Oh, do you have any other advice that anyone needed before we close out?
My advice is to go take a nap.
Oh,
go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah, just I take care. Like my favorite question: what are you going to do to return to peace? What I'm doing to return to peace is I ordered pizza. Is going to be here in 20 minutes. I am going to sit on that couch. I'm going to watch the latest episode of Star Trek Discovery. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to write, and then I'm gonna have fun because, my God, like if nothing else, we have to figure out how to have fun in the middle. Like, plant your gardens in Babylon, baby. We don't know how long we're gonna be here.
Did you see the teenage boy who, in the middle of all those people being stuck in the subway station, sat down and started playing the piano?
Mm-mm.
So all these people are afraid and they're hearing scary noises above them. And in the Ukraine, he just sits down and he just starts playing the piano. And I think that's sometimes what we have to do because we are still human. Everything hurts. It's hard. And we can breathe in and breathe out and recognize that this is actually hard. And as much fun as Kevin and I have together, we're also aware that it's a scary time.
Sucks. Yeah.
And
And
so
I don't know if we have any listeners over in that part of the world, but if you're out there, we love you.
we love you.
And I don't know how we can help, but if there's a way we can help, I don't know, tell us, I guess. And we'll
so can I tell you something kind of fun because I think it relates to this?
Yes, lift the mood, Sarah.
I've had a lot of anxiety in my body over a lot of things because of trying to run my own business, trying to make it. And I've been invited into some really once in a lifetime experiences. And I keep telling myself, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. One of them was that if you know me, I'm a giant straight. So I love basketball, college basketball. It comes with being straight. I'm just kidding.
It's a rule. When you go to the straight counter, they say, raise your right hand.
You go.
What's your favorite sport? And they say,
right. Well, mine's soccer, but then second. Yeah. So I went to Duke for graduate school. So I love college basketball. It's my favorite coaches last year. One of my dear friends told me, hey, I got a ticket to the Final Four. Would you like it? And I said, I can't afford it. But I really want to go. And it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it could be Coach K's Final Four. Anyway. So I had all this anxiety in my body about it because it's in New Orleans, which is close to my family. And we were hanging out last night and I keep trying to plan the trip and just no, I can't do it. And she said to me the most lovely thing. She said, I feel like the thing that's bothering you is that, and you can't figure out what it is. She's like, I think it's that we're going to be so close to your parents. And we were just going to stop by my parents for a day. She goes, what if we invite your parents to come with us to New Orleans for the weekend? So she lost her father last year. And so she's been dealing with spending more. And I think because of that, I keep thinking about that. So we invited my parents. My parents are coming to party with us in New Orleans for a weekend. And the minute she said it, the minute I allowed myself to imagine that time, the anxiety left, which might seem weird and small and whatever, but it kind of reminded me that sometimes we don't even know what the desires are. And that because we're not willing to kind of breathe in and say, what do I need right now? For me right now, I need time with the people I love. So whatever it is that you feel term Ukraine rather than the Ukraine. Oh, okay. Ukraine, not the Ukraine. Good to know. Thank you, Shane. We were just told, and if you're listening to this, you can't see it, so I'm going to say it. Probably best to use the term Ukraine rather than the Ukraine, which is how it was called under Soviet Russia. In my defense, I'm from Southern California, and we call everything the. So the Walmart, the 405.
No, don't excuse your shitty use of language. You fucked up.
I know it. So Ukraine.
Sorry.
Just Ukraine. Like Canada, because it's not the Canada.
Not the.
But it is the United States.
That's because we are an empire of the devil.
That is not entirely true. Friends, we are glad that you joined us.
Isn't it Babylon? Isn't it?
No.
Girl, I am inviting you into the revolution. You need to betray your country. Betray your country.
I have several countries, so that's the thing.
Betray
friends,
this one. Canada, keep that one if you want to. But this one, betray it all day.
Friends, we are so glad that you joined us.
Yeah, I really am. I had a good time.
Kevin wilding out is my favorite flavor, is what someone just said. Yeah, look.
Kevin, sorry. I just feel very passionately about things.
Do not apologize. You've had a big week.
Thank you.
And that's the other thing. Your Body is Not an Apology is an incredible book, friends. Read it.
So yeah, those are our book recommendations for the week. This Here Flesh by Cole Arthur Riley. You can listen to
An Apology.
Your Body is Not an Apology. You can listen to my interview with Cole over on A Tiny Revolution because episodes are back, baby.
Woo! I'm so excited.
All right. I like you. I like everyone here. And anything that you need to plug or
Yeah.
advertise?
Advertise, yes. So if you want to check me out on the latest episode of The Unburdened Leader, that is
Ooh.
by one of my dear friends, Rebecca. She is a Brene Brown therapist. And so she's a psychotherapist, like coach. She's incredible. So she had me on The Unburdened Leader, which is an incredible podcast. Such an honor to be part of that. So I'm on that this week. And then Rev Covery is the other podcast that I'm currently doing that is for folks who are transitioning in ministry or whatever it might be. Also, I myself have signed a couple of clients, but there's still a couple more room, a couple more spaces.
There's still a couple more room for a couple more
spaces. There's some spices. There's some
wide
spaces
open spaces
for anyone who is looking for transitions from getting from this to that. I really enjoy helping people move through transitions in their work and life. So that's me. What about you? You already talked about the crowded table. Anything else you want to mention?
Like I said at the top, I only have 9 spots left in my cohort. So if you are trying to create a spiritual practice and you want to do so in community with cool people, along with one-to-one coaching and group coaching and a curriculum, so you know what to do every day, you can go fill out an application and talk to me, and we can see if it's good. Join the crowded table. Go buy my book, Bad Theology Kills, at badtheologykills.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at @TheKevinGarcia. And if you subscribe to my newsletter at thekevingarcia.com, you can read the first chapter for free.
Friend,
That's it.
it has been wonderful to see you. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy your pizza. Whatever it is, friends, that you need to do to take care of yourself. If you need to reach out, you can find us on social media. We'll be happy if we have the space.
Yeah, I'll be happy to like and say, I'm not going to. Here's the thing. I've here's can we give advice for the week?
You can.
Here's the advice for the week. I saw this in a tweet, and I put it on TikTok, and I'm telling you now, there's a difference between staying informed and re-traumatizing yourself. The ego thinks that if it gets all the information and if it gets all the up-to-date information on everything all the time, then you can stay safe. But the thing is, in your body right now, if you can breathe, get off the internet. Get off social media, get off the news, watch something stupid. Try to just get your nervous system realigned and centered and grounded. Make sure you're eating something, make sure you take your meds, make sure you drink water, make sure you try to move in a way that feels good. Like, take care of yourself. Okay?
I love it. Friends, we will see you next week. Where hopefully,
unless you don't come, and if you don't, you're canceled.
You're ridiculous.
I will cancel you if you don't come back.
Oh my gosh.
I will cancel your Netflix subscription.
That's what you'll cancel? We're now Truebill.
I will go in and I'll cancel all of those subscriptions that you don't need so that you can save up to $700 a year. Pay me to do that rather than Truebill. I'll do it for you.
Oh, that's so great.
Get me off the phone. Get me off the phone. I have to go. All right, we love you, everybody. Bye, everybody.